We won 2 out of 3 contests with our Snipe the Shotgun strategy and made 70% more than our entry fees. In today's video, we show you exactly how we did it. We also cover some advanced topics, like how to use pro options for creating a single lineup, how to use cyclone mode, how to scale lineup entries to match target entry fees, and how to adjust max exposure for single game contests. We also create lineups with our Automax exposure feature and show the results. So let's get started.
Let's start by reviewing the concept behind this Snipe the Shotgun strategy. Many DFS contests allow up to 150 lineup entries by a single contestant. When a contestant enters 150 lineups, they are typically doing it in hopes that one of the lineups will rank very near the top of the contest, and they will win a big payout. To increase coverage, they will force their lineups to have diversity, knowing that many of the lineups will do poorly. Thus, this type of contest will have many diverse, poor-performing lineups, making it easier to build a lineup that pays out more than the entry fee. It's very unlikely to come in near the top of the contest, but this is a conservative strategy that gives you the best chance to make money on a consistent basis. In our previous Snipe the Shotgun video decided on some strategy adjustments after reviewing the results. We decided we would only enter one lineup for the MLB main slate using blended projections. For NBA, we would make 3 lineups, each from a different projection provider, and for NHL, 2 lineups. We also decided to turn down stacking bonus a little for NBA and NHL. Finally, we decided to also give Auto Max exposure a shot with an MLB showdown slate. First, we reserve our lineups in each of the 4 contests. We reserve 15 lineups each in the first 3 contests so that we pay the fee we want to pay. In this case, we are aiming for a 75-cent fee for each contest. We also saved 28 lineups for the MLB single game because we are planning to use the natural diversity strategy, which we describe later in this video. Then we download our CSV templates to save our lineups into later. Let's start with our NBA contest. First, we set global max exposure to 75% and add a light team stacking bonus. Then we generate a lineup for each provider. Then we set cyclone mode to use the 3 projection providers that gave us the most success previously. Finally, we generate our 3 lineups. Next, we open the CSV file that was placed in our downloads folder, and we copy the 3 lineups 5 times so that we have a total of 15 lineups so that we hit our target contest fee of 75 cents. Now we copy these 15 lineups into the template file that we saved when we reserved the lineups in our contest. And finally, we upload our lineups into the FanDuel site, and we do a quick check to make sure none of the players have been ruled out. Now we will create our 2 lineups for our NHL contest. First, we will set our team stacking bonus to 10%. Then we use cyclone mode to select the 2 projection providers that performed well previously. Also, since we are only generating 2 lineups, we relax the max exposure for the goalies. Finally, we exclude opposing goalies so that we don't select any goalies on the opposite side of our offensive players. Now we generate our lineups. Then we use cyclone mode to generate our 2 lineups. The stacking looks a little strong, so let's reduce the stacking bonus a little. The projections just updated, so let's rerun it. The stacking in these results also looks a little strong, so let's reduce stacking bonus a little more and rerun it. These results look okay. So now we copy our 2 lineups until we have 15 lineups to enter into the contest, and we copy the entries into the contest template that we saved previously. Finally, we upload the lineups to FanDuel site and quickly check if any players are out. For the MLB main slate, we exclude opposing pitchers and set the team stack bonus to 10%. Then we run generate lineups. However, even though we only want a single lineup, we still need to run the multi-lineup generator so that the team stack bonus pro option is factored in. We copy our lineup 15 times into the template that we previously downloaded. We upload it to FanDuel's site and check for any players that might be out. For our 4th contest, we combine a natural diversity strategy with auto max exposure. Natural diversity is when we create the number of lineups equal to the number of different players used to create the lineups. For example, for a full roster slate, I use 10 players to build a single lineup. Without any special settings to force diversity, I might use 50 players to build the 150 lineups. Natural diversity is the crossover point where the number of players used to build the lineups is equal to the number of lineups. We find this crossover point by trial and error. We use this natural diversity strategy to quadruple our bankroll in a single NFL season. The crossover point for our contest was that 28 players were used to build 28 lineups. So we will build 28 lineups, but we are going to force additional diversity using auto max exposure. Next, we set cyclone mode to select our desired projection providers. Then we generate single lineups. And finally, we run the multi-lineup generator to get our 28 lineups. We can see from our pop-up log that Automax Exposure forced 63 players to be used for our 28 lineups. Now we copy our 28 lineups into the FanDuel template file that we saved previously, upload the lineups into the FanDuel site, and check the status of our players up until game time, and replace any players that don't start. Here are results. We made money on 2 out of 3 contests where we used the Snipe the Shotgun strategy. We did poorly using auto max exposure. We overrode the natural diversity strategy by forcing too much diversity, and as a result, none of our lineups won. Sometimes we learn a lot from our failures. This is one of those times. Now let's take a look at the specific results. First, let's compare our best NBA lineup with the winning lineup. The winning lineup had a 3-player team stack of Denver. We had the same Denver team stack and also had a 2-player stack of New Orleans. 5 of our 9 players were the same as the winning lineup. Here are the specific results from our 3 lineups. We won with the number fire and blend projections. Overall, our strategy looks good, and it seems it's now time to try playing with slightly higher stakes. Our MLB lineup had a 4-4 stack of the Yankees and the Rays, compared with the winning lineup, which had a 3-2-2 stack of the Yankees, Phillies, and Timberwolves. Our pitcher, Dylan Cease, didn't perform very well, and our third baseman scored no fantasy points. Our lineup was more than 100 fantasy points less than the winning lineup. Still, it was good enough to make a positive return. Thus, it seems we might have identified a good strategy and should keep playing with slightly higher stakes. Our best NHL lineup had a 4-4 stack of Boston and Carolina, compared with the winning lineup, which had a 4-4 stack of Boston and Tampa Bay. It seems our strategy was okay, but the Hurricanes played below expectation. Our best lineup came from the number fire projections. Neither goalie produced many fantasy points. Finally, here's our result from using auto max exposure. You can see from the scattergram, we forced too much diversity and none of our lineups performed well. We hope this video was interesting and informative. Remember, have fun and play responsibly.